Good afternoon guys, and welcome back to CK Aquatics. Today we are featuring my partner and my 4-foot aquarium once again. Last time was the GMO Tetra care guide. Today we'll be focusing on 10 things that I find cool about Danios. 10 things that I find Danios can do to your tank, and just some general facts about these guys as well as the care of them. So let's get into it. So onto the first thing about Danios, or the first fact if you could call it. The Danios are a super active species of fish. They are sure to bring some activeness and some liveliness to your tank. They are the silver and blue striped fish you can see here, as well as some other luminous colors like the GMO Tetras, but that we'll get into later. I do have something on that. But they are very active. They only grow to about 5 to 7 centimeters, so they are perfect for a good and a big school of them, and their natural behavior will be perfect in a big school. They really do like company, so consider that. And just also remember they are very active, so a decent amount of swimming room in your tank is optimal as well. On to the second thing that I found cool about Danios, or just a fact, is that they are schooling fish, as you can see here in my aquarium. They love to be around each other, they feed together, and as they are schooling fish and you have plenty of them, you always have the chance of them to breed. If you've got a moss ball or a little rug or a little hanging carpet thingy in there, but they are a great schooling fish. You'd want to keep 6 or more of them. As you can see, I have quite a few. They are mostly top dwelling fish, as you can see. They're great schooling fish. They move fast, they school quite tightly, which is nice. And remember to keep them in a group of 6 at least. I would say to get a really good display of Danios, I would go with no less than 10. On to the third fact about Danios is you get a few different variety of them. In my tank I have the zebra Danios, which are the silver and blue ones, as well as some GMO, or otherwise known as glow Danios. There you can see them at the bottom, along with our sailfin pleco and some swordtails, but the main focus is the glow Danio. As you can see, they do come in enhanced colors from the GMO modification, and you also get them in all different shapes and sizes. If you have a smaller aquarium, you could consider what's known as a celestial pearl Danio. They're really small but super active fish, almost look like a little trout. The fishermen will know what I'm talking about. Then you move on to the ones that I keep, the zebra Danio or glow Danio. It's perfect to fill in a big tank or to just have a really fun smaller tank. And then one that I currently do not have but do plan to have in the future is a giant Danio. They grow up to about 4 or so inches, with the males being a striking orange and blue color. Females a bit more dull, as is with most tropical fish. The giant Danio, I won't do much discussing because we're not looking at them today, but they are incredibly fast. They're Danio, so that you can imagine. So you would need a 4-foot aquarium at least for them, and I would say a group of 6 to 8 at a maximum stocking rate for those. Number 4, and let's get straight into this one. In my experience, Danios have been a super hardy fish for me while I was starting out the hobby. In fact, the first tank that I was super proud of, not my first actual aquarium, but the first tank that I was really proud of was a 60-liter zebra Danio tank. And I was a beginner, I knew completely nothing, getting advice from a lot of seasoned fish keepers and whatnot, but they have survived most of my errors I assume I made without even knowing as a beginner. They're very hardy. They are mass bred, so you would like to find a good source. They are hardy, and I would recommend them if you are looking to start out in the hobby, or looking maybe to get someone into the hobby and would like to recommend a fish, I would definitely recommend the zebra Danio. This fact about the Danio, and coming in at number 5, we're going to talk a little bit about their feeding. They are not fussy eaters at all. They'll take a regular tropical flake, they'll take a granule of smaller size. If it's at a bigger size, they will try and eat it and swim around with it in their mouth. I have seen a few times, but they obviously battle with those, so they'll take some tropical flakes, some smaller granules, maybe some tetra bits of some sort, some live foods, live DANIO, some frozen bloodworms. They like brine shrimp, you could also do. Their mouth appendage is not particularly large, although they are quite I wouldn't say an aggressive fish, but they are super fast and stuff. But you would expect their mouth appendage to be a bit bigger, but it's actually quite small. I don't know if you guys can really tell by looking at the face, but it is quite small. So your smaller nano foods will be perfect for these guys. But all in all, I wouldn't stress too much about food. They really aren't fussy. Anything that smells like food or looks like food, they'll be interested in. At number 6, we have a little bit about the tank mates for these guys, or who they could be tank mates for. This depends on your aquarium. Like I say, if you have a big aquarium such as this 4 foot, I really wanted to fill out the swimming space. My partner likes a lot of swimming space in the aquarium, and these Danios really give that space something to look at. They are super peaceful. They get along, as you can see, with everybody. Here's one looking for a little snack by the Plecostomus. Here they go. They get along super well with everybody. They're great tank mates, super peaceful. I don't know if I would suggest really flowy fins, such as a betta fish or anything like that. They are known to be a little bit of fin nippers if they are in the wrong environment, but that is very rare. So let's move on to the next one. On to the next one, and this is number 7. We're going to talk a little bit about breeding the zebra Danio. In my experience, they have not been hard to breed. I have not put a solid effort into it, if I must be honest, but I have seen zebra Danio fry in and amongst the more dense area of plants there in the middle, well, plastic plants, but nonetheless, that's where they seem to go and hide out. But I mean, if you are looking at breeding the zebra Danio, there are breeder boxes in which have little crates at the bottom, which you put the male and the female in there, and hopefully she'll drop eggs for you, and the eggs will fall through the crate to the bottom. The next morning you release the 2 adults, and hopefully you raise some fry up for some more additions to your tank, or to give back to your local pet shop or credit, or whatever you'd be interested in doing. Moving on to number 8, and almost getting to the end of this video, just a quick mention on this is that I have had experiences with Danios jumping out of this exact aquarium actually. Thankfully both of those Danios, well, could have been the same Danio, so it has survived and it's going really strong. It was one of my biggest females. I walked in the one day and there she was on the floor. I had a breeder box in the corner of the tank. I'm sure she was trying to get at the babies, but she was on the floor next to the tank flapping around, and we dropped her in, and that was that. Second time was during a water change, and the same thing happened. Plopped her right back in, and that was that. She's going strong. So just a quick one, they can be jumpers, so ensure that you have a lid on your aquarium. Moving on to number 9, I find the Danios to be absolutely amazing dither fish. I have had experiences in the past with the female swordtail being pregnant and the most dominant male, as you can see there. He has chased the smaller male around quite a bit in the aquarium. The smaller male is, there we go, he's to the back, he's nowhere to be seen now, but the Danios do prove to be good dither fish. They give the sense of the smaller male a bit of security, that there's no predators in the tank and it is safe to come out and eat and to look for females to breed with and whatnot. So yeah, they are great dither fish. One of my good friends, Charles, has giant Danios in his aquarium with a flower horn, believe it or not. He goes by the name of Mr. Knucklehead, this flower horn. He was very shy at a stage and would stay in his little PVC pipe all day. And so some giant Danios were introduced, and he became a little bit more active, and they've been living peacefully ever since. So they're great, they're the fish for all types of aquariums. And last but definitely not least, we move on to the topic of the bioload, which a lot of people underestimate in their aquarium, having overstocked it, or not having sufficient filtration running or flow, or whatever it might be. The Danios in general have a very, very low bioload. I kept 12 to 15 Danios in a 60 litre once, with very, very minimum bioload. Obviously that depends on how much you feed, but with optimal feeding, the maintenance is quite easy with these guys. So just to sum up this video and this little 10 things that I find cool about zebra Danios, or Danios in general, I'd just like to say that I think anybody looking to improve their tank or looking to add some spark to their tank, even like I say, they are a great gift to beginners or a great recommendation fish to beginners looking to get into the hobby. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.